Welcome to your bedtime story. I hope that as you listen, you will feel relaxed and be able to fall asleep. So before we begin, take a moment and settle in. And when you're ready, take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, close your eyes and begin to relax. It's time to let go of your day now and to welcome the night. It's time to let go of tension and to welcome relaxation. Imagine, feel, or sense a soft white cloud slowly floating down from the ceiling towards you. The cloud is like a soft, warm, dry mist, gently floating down and over you. Feel or sense the softness of this mist as it lightly wraps around you, lightly touching your skin, bringing comfort into your body, relaxing you from head to toe. Imagine now, if you can, the sensation of this comforting and gentle mist as it lightly touches the top of your scalp, creating a pleasant feeling of relaxation there. Lightly touching your face, flowing down into your neck, flowing across your shoulders, cascading now down your arms, down into your hands, all the way down into your fingers. This peaceful mist slowly swirls down and around your spine, flowing into your back, warm and soothing, and now lightly flowing down into your hips, into your legs, into your feet, all the way down into your toes. Feeling very relaxed, all wrapped up in this comforting mist of peace, feeling completely at ease as we now begin our story. Long ago, there was a poor old blind man in China who was blessed with a beautiful daughter, Shimjung. She was very kind and generous, and she was the bright light of her father's dark life. One day, while wandering in the woods, he lost his balance and fell into a water hole. Despite all effort to climb out, he did not have enough strength to pull himself out, and he gave way to his despair and was certain he would drown. Suddenly, he heard a voice nearby speak to him. "Old man, if you promise to give 300 bushels of rice to the temple in the name of Buddha, you will not drown and you will be able to see once again." The old blind man, fearful of losing his beautiful daughter Shimjung, replied quickly, "I promise." And soon after, he felt strong arms pull him from the water. He believed that the Buddha himself had come to save him. The old man blinked a few times, waiting for his eyesight to return, but sadly this did not happen. Then he remembered in horror what he had promised. He was poor and did not have any money to buy even 1 bushel of rice, never mind 300. He had made a promise he could never keep, and he told himself that he deserved any punishment that came his way. Feeling defeated and distressed, he staggered all the way home and wept as he confessed his mistake to his daughter. Shimjung was sad to see her father in distress and tried to comfort him. "Do not worry, father. I will help you. I will get the rice for your promised offering." And the very next day, Shimjung quickly made her way to the village market and immediately sought out the wealthiest merchant. "I am here to offer myself to the Dragon King," she told him. "And in return, you must promise to give 300 bushels of rice to the temple in my father's name." The merchant was delighted to receive this offering, because for many years the Dragon King, the Eastern Sea, was in search of a bride, but the merchants refused to offer their daughters in matrimony. As such, the angry Dragon King sent wild storms at sea that sank the merchants' ships. Many of the merchants would offer a reward to anyone willing to sacrifice his daughter to the Dragon King. And now, here stood this poor but beautiful girl. Overjoyed, the merchant happily accepted her offer. As his sailors carried the girl to sea, the merchant sent 300 bushels of rice to the temple. Soon after, the poor old blind man heard about his daughter's fate, and even so, his eyesight still did not return. His only one joy in life was now gone, and he sank deeply into despondency and grief. Shimjung expected she would quickly drown as the merchants dropped her overboard at sea. Yet to her surprise, she discovered that she could breathe underwater and soon saw the beautiful underwater palace of the Dragon King and was greeted by the king himself. The king was soon enchanted by Shimjung's kindness and beauty, and as time passed, he became a kind and loving husband. They lived happily together beneath a calm, gentle sea. Even though Shimchung adored her king husband, she often thought of her dear father. She wept whenever she thought of her father's heartbreak, and she would often gaze up toward the surface of the sea. The Dragon King loved his wife very much, and her sadness became his. Love of my life, my love for you is deep like the sea, and so I must set you free so you can once again see your father. No one will believe that you are still alive, so to keep you safe, I will disguise you. And with that, he turned her into a beautiful lotus flower that slowly drifted away from the palace. That same day, a village fisherman noticed an unusual but lovely flower floating upon the sea, and he decided to gift this treasure to the emperor who ruled the land. The emperor loved the beautiful flower, and he placed it in the pond of his garden, and he often sat there for hours gazing at it. Then one night, when the emperor could not sleep, he wandered toward his pond in the garden, and to his surprise, he saw a lovely girl standing near the water. He gasped and asked, "Who are you?" Shimchung blushed. "It is I," she said. "I am the lotus flower you love." The emperor understood at once why his love for his beautiful blossom was so deep. He slowly approached the lovely girl and softly whispered, "Shimchung, will you marry me?" "I will," Shimchung said, for she could see that the emperor was an honorable man, and she had enjoyed his company. "But I have one request. We must invite every blind man in the country to our wedding," she said. The emperor happily agreed. Their wedding day soon arrived, and Shimchung waited eagerly as each guest entered the hall, her heart beating fast each time she saw an old blind man. But each time she was disappointed, as not one was her father. The emperor noticed Shimchung looking anxious. "Why do you look worried, Blossom?" the emperor asked. "There is one person I must see again," she said softly. And just then, an old man entered the hall, leaning on one shoulder of the steward. His clothes were ragged. He was covered with dust from the journey, and he was so weak he could hardly walk. "My father, it is I," she cried, and she ran to embrace him. When the old man heard that sweet, familiar voice of his cherished daughter, he opened his eyes and could see. Instantly, his eyes filled with tears of joy at the sight of his beautiful daughter Shimchung. And the very next day, many of the merchant ships returned to port, safe and sound on the gentle waves of the Eastern Sea. And as our story comes to an end, it's time for you now to fall asleep, dear one. You are safe. All is well. Your eyes are getting heavy. Your feet, your body are tired. Welcome the feeling of sleepiness. Let it fill you. Let it surround you. Let it carry you into the night. Allow yourself to drift. It's time for sleep. Sleep well, dear one. Sweet dreams.